The end of an era. Isn't that lovely? I watched this series twice already. What am I doing? I'm reviewing stuff with my bean.
Yeah. And I'm happy we finally are fucking finished with this series, damn it. Oh, wait, that's right. We still got El Camino. Fuck!
Yeah. So, explain to the audience how much you hated it.
Let me get to it.
Okay.
Hi, guys. Welcome back to the Charming Analysis podcast. I'm Mari.
I'm Jay.
And this is our season 5 podcast for our Breaking Bad analysis.
Mm-hmm.
Originally, I thought this was basically the end of it, and then I got informed by Jay that, hey, there's still one more left.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what do you mean? We finished all 5 seasons. No, there's the movie. There's a fucking movie? El Camino. I was like, fuck! So, originally, this was going to be the end of our Breaking Bad analysis, but because El Camino is still taking place at Breaking Bad,
Mm-hmm.
we kind of have to do this one.
Yeah, which is...
Because we're torturing ourselves at this point. But I'm kidding.
Well, might as well finish Breaking Bad.
Yeah, because I thought season 5 was the end, but then I was informed by Jay that El Camino is basically the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have Better Call Saul, but we are waiting to do that because after this fucking series, I'm taking a break from stuff like this. Not the podcast, but just I need lighthearted shit after this. So anyway, why are you looking on this?
Just let me peruse. Anyway.
All right, so why don't we explain what happened in season 5 really quick?
Everybody finds out about Walt's shit, and everyone pays the price for it.
That's all we're gonna say. That's the gist of it.
Nobody else wants to be spoiled. I guess you're gonna talk spoilers and everything.
Yeah. So, if you guys haven't seen it, basically we are going to go into spoiler territory a bit. So, if you guys have not seen Breaking Bad, please go watch Breaking Bad before coming back to this. Mm-hmm. Also, if you have not seen our other podcast regarding Breaking Bad, they will be they're on our channel. Mm-hmm. So we basically have been watching this series since fucking January. But I'll talk about that at the end. Yep. So why don't you go first, honey? So what did you think about season 5 in and of itself?
I mean, it might be my favorite season so far because all the stuff that I thought happened earlier seasons happens in this one. So just might be my favorite for like the performances alone.
Which I can agree with you on.
I think the performances they outshine themselves here a lot. So, and I think if it wasn't a good like season finale, I would it wouldn't be praised as hard. Like the whole show wouldn't be praised as hard if it didn't have a good season finale, but it did. So I attribute that to the performances. And just like how it all went down at the end of it. And I don't know, I really enjoyed watching this season. I enjoyed it a lot more than like maybe season 3 or 4.
Yeah, I can understand that because I'm not gonna lie, season 3 kind of fucking dragged a bit. Like, I'll talk about season 5 and then we'll talk about the whole season overall. But mm-hmm. I did think I will say this, I did think the first 3 episodes of season 5 were boring and kind of shit. I'm not going to lie. I was bored for the first 3 episodes of this season. But after that, I fucking enjoyed the rest of the season. I was on the edge of my seat. Mm-hmm. Honestly, really fucking curious to see how this was going to go. And I'm genuinely surprised at some of the stuff they actually did with this. Like, this season in general. Like, I wasn't expecting Hank to find out about Walt until, like, the very end of, like, the series. Not even, like, 3 episodes in. I thought that was a little early for him to be seeing it. But at the same time, I'm kind of glad they did that. So that way they're not just rushing it into one episode. They kind of drag it out a little bit, which I feel like in this circumstance it's a good thing. What do you think? Did you think it was a good thing that they kind of introduced it earlier on than they could have, like, in the very last couple episodes?
I thought this season was like paced perfectly to me.
Yeah. Like, I'm just saying, I think they paced it perfectly as well, but I'm just saying it could have. I'm surprised they introduced it like earlier in the season compared to like the last couple episodes, because a lot of series tend to do that kind of thing. So I'm glad that they actually paced it and actually developed how Hank would react to all these things. Speaking of Hank, can we talk about what happened in the fucking desert?
Where he gets kabooyah'd.
Did you just say he got kabooyah'd?
Yes.
Hank fucking died, which I was not expecting at all. Well, I knew something was going to happen. I just didn't think Hank was going to be dying. Because, first off, his partner gets killed. Then we end up finding out that Hank died, and I was not expecting that at all. To be honest with you, I was genuinely surprised at that. Of all the things that could have like happened, that was definitely something that threw me for a loop. Especially us literally stopping watching it last night before the episode where he dies. So I was surprised that was the first thing we ended up watching tonight. So I was like, oh my gosh. I had a feeling it was gonna happen, but I didn't know. I didn't know this was how they were going to do it. But I feel like they executed it well. Like, do you feel like Hank...
When I first watched that, when I first like saw it, not in this reenactment, I knew that Hank wasn't going to get out of that desert.
You didn't think he was going to get out? Even before now?
Yeah, when I first watched this series, I was like, he's not going to get out of this. They're going to shoot him.
Yeah. I was having that feeling that someone's gonna die. I didn't think it was gonna be Hank so soon, but damn, I was not expecting that to hit so hard. I'm trying to phrase it in a way that that actually makes sense, because I'm kind of all.
You're shocked.
I'm more shocked than anything, pretty much, because I was not expecting Hank to basically die so soon in the series. Well, not so soon, but like so late in the series, especially after everything that happened to him throughout the series. I was just these like last 6 or so episodes, I was surprised at how they were gonna go. And I'm surprised how they went. So I will say that this was an interesting experience overall. I did think they did good in the series with this. You did actually show me the clip of Walt basically taking his daughter.
Yeah, I did.
He actually showed me that.
Like out of context.
Out of context.
A couple years ago.
Yeah, and I was like, as soon as I saw it again, I'm like, shit. Now I know why Jay was like so worried about this.
No, I like showed you this out of context, and you were like, "What the fuck?" And I already told you that Breaking Bad was one of my favorite shows, and you were like, "Okay."
Yeah, and then I had no context of it. So now I now see why you like the show so much, and I will admit there's some good shit in this show.
Yeah,
there is some good stuff in it. So. What did you think of how they did Skylar's whole thing in this whole thing? Because I feel like I will admit, she is a bit better in this season. I will fully admit that. I do start to like her a bit more in this season.
I feel like Skylar I feel like Skylar did nothing really that wrong.
Yeah,
like throughout the whole series, I don't think she did anything wrong.
She's just trying to keep her family together, which after watching the whole thing, I could see why and stuff like that. Like, a lot of her stuff after watching the entire series is like, she's a lot more redeemable than a lot of people were giving credit for. Like, a lot of the shit she did was basically so the family wasn't destroyed. And I can understand that. I get a little bit more perspective on it, and I have a little bit more of an understanding when it comes to Skylar, which I was not expecting to have at this point, especially with how it went for the first, I think, like, 3 seasons. So that I was actually surprised at. And another thing I was genuinely surprised at, which I wasn't actually sure I was going to appreciate, I actually liked Hank's wife a lot more.
Mary?
Yes, I actually started to like her a lot more.
Because her husband died and you felt sympathy.
Well, not just that, but, like, she's a lot better of a character after season 3. Like, season 3 past that, she's a lot better. I will admit, the first 2 seasons, I wanted to fucking smack some of these people. But after everything that Walt put these people through, stop squishing Mari plushie. After all the stuff that Walt put his family through at this point, I can appreciate more of the other characters. And I think that's a good thing. Especially with how everything went. I was also very... I'm trying to think of a good word. I was surprised at how Walt Jr. reacted to this. But he reacted in a very justifiable way. I will say that. I was just kind of surprised he reacted the way he did. I thought his dad was going to basically explain everything to him, like, face to face. I wasn't expecting his mom and his aunt to do that. I thought that was kind of crazy. But then again, he barely knew what happened until, like, the very last minute, which is also understandable because his mom and his dad didn't want him and his kids to know. Like, they didn't want him to know, which is a very justifiable reason, especially with the shit he was doing. So that's something that also surprised me through it. But I'm glad this came to a good resolution in a sense. But I'm curious to see what El Camino is going to bring. But I do have more questions and stuff. So what did you think of Jesse through this season? Because I feel like he did... I definitely have a bigger appreciation for him in this season.
He's just broken. He's just a broken man.
Like, he went through so much these last 2 seasons. It's honestly insane. Like, the last 2 seasons alone, he went through hell. Like, he went through hell, like, 5 times. Which was very interesting, in my opinion, because I wasn't expecting him to go through basically being a meth slave for the last 5 episodes. I was not expecting that to be how Jesse's story kind of ended, like him basically escaping that. I am sad that his current girlfriend and I think her son, I know at least her. I know she's gone. Yeah. I don't know about the son, though.
No, he's an orphan.
That is so fucking sad. That makes me so sad, honestly, because that kid was so sweet. I feel so bad. This guy has lost, like, so many people. Like, Jesse more sad about it. Like, he has lost so many good people that didn't deserve to die. A lot of them, like, didn't deserve the way they went.
Yeah.
But Walt kind of got what he had coming. I will say that based on how the ending went. So I guess, what did you think of how Walt's ending went? Because to me,
it was like how how he how he lost everything and like.
Yeah, like for me, I was not expecting us to actually see what happened after he lost everything. I thought they were just going to end it with him basically either getting into custody or like... Well, he technically got into custody, but the way they did it, I was not expecting. My hypothesis before watching it was like, hey, is he going to like get taken into custody and then die in prison or something like that? Or no, basically how he went was like he escaped, kind of laid low for a bit and then decided, hey, I'm just going to go be arrested by the cops. Not without, like, setting Jesse free, because at least if I do that, I feel better about myself. Mm-hmm. And then basically he did. He died because he got shot. When he basically shot up Todd and his uncle and his comrades. Mm-hmm. So anything past, like, the end of, like, this episode, I was not expecting. Like, the last 2 episodes in general, I was not expecting.
Yeah, well, it happened, and I feel like, I mean, he didn't get what he deserved, but, I mean, he died at the end of it.
But he didn't get into custody, so I'm starting to wonder what would have happened if they did that. Like, do you feel like... I feel like everyone would have gotten a better conclusion out of it. Like, on their half, like, they would have felt a little bit better about it. Like, Skylar and them would probably be like, okay, good, he's finally gone. Kind of thing. But yeah. I don't know how they're going to react. Like, do they actually have that in El Camino? Like, do they actually show...
No.
Really?
I don't think you see him in El Camino.
Well, that's kind of sad. I was genuinely curious if we were going to hear anything about them, but I guess not. Mm-hmm.
What do you think about Mike?
I actually liked him. I started to like him more. I'm not going to lie to you.
Honestly, he might have been like, he might like overtake Jesse as like my favorite character.
Which I was surprised at, because when you said like, when you said that, I was like, really?
Which I'm happy like that he's in Better Call Saul. Like,
yeah, which we do eventually plan on watching Better Call Saul, but because this has literally taken us almost the entire year to fucking do, we're probably going to wait a little bit to do Better Call Saul, just because I need something lighthearted after dealing with this for like almost the whole year, which originally we weren't planning on doing. We were originally going to be doing it like the first 5 months, mm-hmm. and I will also explain that as well. So let's finish this review and then we'll talk about some stuff. So that way I'm not like going off topic as often, because I'm trying to really not go off topic too much. I'm trying so hard. It's hard. I know. So I guess, do you have any questions you want to ask me?
Would be for the whole show, not just for this season.
I know. We're going to review that, but do you have anything else to say about season 5 before we kind of talk about the whole show in general?
How was Saw's exit, I guess?
I was expecting him to die. Of all the people, Saw was the one I was expecting to die. No. I'm not going to lie to you. I know he has his own series, but I thought it was like a prequel to this whole thing. Mm. So I thought, oh, he's going to die, so the thing's going to be about him before he died. Mm. But I'm going to guess no. I'm going to guess no, that's what Better Call Saul is about. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I was not expecting him to leave like how he did. This poor man also went through so much hell as well. I felt so bad for Saul. I was not expecting to feel bad for this man, but the last, I think, like 5 episodes, I was kind of like, okay, Saul did not deserve any of this fucking bullshit. Why did they put him through so much shit? This guy needs a fucking medal. He went through, like, he put up with so much bullshit.
He was the best lawyer ever.
I give him credit. He did good for what he did. I still can't believe that he basically ended up having to get rehomed as well, which I was also not expecting. I thought he was basically just gonna forget about it and just kind of live his life, but not expecting that ending at all either.
Nope.
What did you think of Saul's ending? I want to know what you thought. I'm curious.
Well, I won't know because he's like not in this season that much. So I'm hoping that he like becomes like his own when we finally watch the other show. But
they probably will. He probably will. He'll probably like go into his own at that point. But I'm just wanting to know your opinion personally about it, because like I'm just surprised that he did the stuff he did. Mm-hmm. I was not expecting him to be Walt's cellmate for like not even like 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. It was probably longer than that, but still, I was not expecting that either. I was not expecting Saul to be there, period. But he went through so much shit. He better be good in Better Call Saul. He better be good in his own fucking show.
Well,
if he's not, I'm gonna be.
It's probably like following dozens of Emmy Award-winning shows, so I don't think it's like gonna be terrible.
I know, but
and that show's already done. I think that one's 6 seasons.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. I'm gonna have to figure all that shit out once we actually watch that, but that's probably not gonna be for a bit because I want to try and watch some other.
Long while.
Yeah, because I want to watch some other series before we actually get back into this universe in a sense. Just because this series already took a lot out of me, I will say that right now. This series took a lot out of me.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, any more stuff you want to add about season 5 before we talk about the series as a whole?
No, not why.
All right, let's give our rating for season 5. What do you give it out of 10?
I'll give it a 9 out of 10.
Really?
It's almost perfect.
Damn. I would probably give it an 8.5. Pretty much. Like I said before, when it came to like Hank finding out sooner than I was expecting him to, I actually thought they were going to have it a lot later. But I'm glad that they did it the way they did. I was just not expecting that. Stop flattening Marisona's head. He does this stuff in the background when I'm talking, and every time I look up, I see him doing something. That's one of the reasons I get distracted so much.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
but it gives me something to kind of work my way back, in a sense.
So
anyway.
What did you think of Breaking Bad in the series?
Well, I didn't finish what I was saying about season 5.
Oh, okay.
I was just saying, I think they did a good job with it. For basically, I think it had the most amount of episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Compared to all the other seasons, which also not expecting, because most of the time they kind of shorten seasons when it comes to like the last season. So I'm kind of glad we got some extra episodes. This season was probably the most intense season of a show I think I've seen in a long time. Probably since we watched BoJack, if I'm being honest with you.
Oh, yeah, BoJack.
But
you have not seen many serious
intense show like this.
Serious shows.
I tend to be for more comedic shows and stuff with like drama and suspense, but not like this. This and BoJack were probably the hardest series in my opinion for me to get through because of the subject matter in it. I don't know which is like more intense, but that's something I actually have to think about. And eventually I would like to do a video on that, just like us comparing these two series and stuff like that, but that's probably not going to be for a long time.
I mean, I like probably BoJack better, but that's just me.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about the series as a whole, because El Camino was basically going to be its own separate video, but it has to do with the universe. But because we originally did the 5 series, this is basically where we're going to talk about the whole series at this point before we watch El Camino. So, what did you think of Breaking Bad after this is like your second time watching it or your third?
Second time watching it full through.
So, what did you think about it compared to your first time? I'm curious.
I praised it a lot more.
You actually like it a lot more?
No, I praised it a lot more first time watching it because I was young and naive and I was like, best show ever fucking made. Now I'm just like, it's still a classic. It's still a good favorite classic. I just like it's weird looking back on it now. I kind of tampered down on like my opinions and expectations a lot of the time because I still count things as great pieces of art. I just like don't hold it as close. I don't hold things as close to my heart as I should, but I still consider it a great show. I think like acting wise, it's really fucking great. I think this is the type of performances that these people are going to be remembered for a long time.
I can definitely agree
Yeah.
that these are the only series I've heard these characters in, besides Jesse's voice actor, who was also in BoJack. Full circle, damn it. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to make sure, because I was like, I'm pretty sure. Because I think you mentioned it. So yeah. For me, I did not think I was actually going to enjoy this series. I'm not going to lie to you. I thought this was going to be either too intense for me or way too, like...
Dull.
But I was a lot more interested in this thing than I thought I was going to be. I'm going to be completely honest with you. It was so interesting. Would I probably watch this again? Probably not for a very long time. And if I do, I would probably, like, just do it, like, for, like, a series, like, not a series review, but, like, probably do for, like, a stream or something. Just pick, like, episodes. But I probably would not sit back and watch this show again just because I feel like it's better with, like, maybe one watch, in my opinion. This is, like, kind of a one-watch show, in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
But for what we got, for 5 seasons, I was impressed with how this went. I'm not gonna lie though, the first season was good. Second season got a little bit interesting. I kind of lost it a little bit during the third and like halfway through the fourth season. So, and then season 5 basically, I lost it a little bit again, first 3 episodes, and then got back into it again. And kind of started to lose it a little bit toward almost the end. Not really, but almost at the end. But, so you're probably wondering something, like, when we were originally doing this video series for Breaking Bad, we had the first 2 episodes, like the first 2 podcasts within like the first month or 2 of the year. So we did that, and then we were originally going to be watching season 3 after, but we had a lot of shit happen. Like, at that time. We were basically watching a bunch of other shows. I wasn't ready to get back into it. You weren't ready to get back into it. So we basically took, like, I think 2 months to kind of prep ourselves for season 3.
Yeah.
And that came as a surprise, and then we watched that. Then we just slowly started finishing it until now. Originally, the plan was to finish this in May. That was our original plan, was just to get this series over with and done. But because of how some stuff kind of went, and just because a lot kind of happened, I kind of needed more time to kind of process everything. I feel like you did too. Like, it wasn't just me, but I think it was also you as well, right? Or is it mainly just me? I will say that...
It's all the same, yeah.
Yeah, I will say this, though. When this video does come out, the thumbnail for this fucking video alone took the longest out of all the other podcast videos for the series in general, and for this entire fucking review. I worked so fucking hard on this fucking thumbnail. I will say that. Doing thumbnails for this series was actually interesting. I actually liked doing them. They were probably some of the funnest I've done thumbnails in a while, but I'm happy I did them the way I did. It was interesting drawing us as Walter and Jesse for, like, with our Sonas, like, legit, like, in the hazmat suits. That was actually really fun to do. Did you like the thumbnails?
I did. It's fun.
Yeah, so that made me also happy to do that. Okay, so that's basically enough of that explanation kind of thing. That's why that's
so. What would we rate this whole show?
I will say that in a second. But that's basically why the things took so long. So if anyone was wondering, oh, why are these so spaced out? That's fucking why. Anyway, end of my little soapbox thing. So I give Breaking Bad overall... That's a hard decision, to be honest with you. For me personally, this had a lot of ups and downs. This series definitely had a lot of ups and downs for me. I was not expecting it to go the way it did. For a lot of it. A lot of it I was surprised at. I'm also just kind of surprised at how it concluded. I will very wholeheartedly admit, there were some episodes that was very hard for me to get through.
Because they were so boring.
I'm not gonna lie. There were some that were really fucking boring, but when it did have its highs, they were very high. Like, the various highs of highs. I will say that. Highs...
Did your butt clench in your seat while you were watching it?
Okay, no. First off, was yours?
I saw it already, but the first time I saw these scenes, yeah, they kind of were.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, for me overall, for what it was worth, I'm gonna be generous a little bit. I'm gonna give this a 7.5. It's still a good series. I'm not unjustifying that, because for what it is a good series.
But what is the best show? What are you comparing it to the best show you've ever seen?
I don't know.
What is the best
honey.
show you've ever seen?
I'm not talking about that. I critique stuff, not that harsh, but
Legit. Just tell me. Just
I
tell me
don't
what
know.
your favorite TV show of all time is.
I don't have a favorite TV show of all time. I watch a lot of shows and like them. I just don't really have any that I don't know.
So would you put this over any animated show that you've seen? Would you put it over BoJack?
Probably over BoJack. I will say that for a fact. I will put this over BoJack. Or actually, I would tie this with BoJack. I think this and BoJack are pretty much at a tie for me.
Mm-hmm.
What about you? Is BoJack tied for you with this, or is it higher or lower?
I mean, I would probably go watch. I don't know. Like, cause like those shows, it's like those are like good dramas and stuff, but like dramas aren't. I like more like mixed media type. Like my thing about it is like if something can be like come around that's like I like mixed media that like either has to deal with like mystery, horror, or comedy. And
Yeah, I get that.
these are not the most favorite of a genre. Like these shows that's like they're not the most famous of dramas, because I give BoJack a lot more slack because it does have comedy.
Yeah, which I also get.
But that's pretty much. But I still really love Breaking Bad. I think when I first saw it, I was like high school, college age. You know, I think it's the perfect age to watch this.
Yeah.
And I have praised it a lot more back then. Now I'm just like, it is very, 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 very good.
Yeah.
So.
But you give it a little bit more
for me,
slack.
I probably will give it. I used to give it a 10 out of 10. Now I probably would give it an 8.5 out of 10.
You give it an 8.5?
Yeah.
But yeah, I did enjoy watching this with you.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely did. Would I personally watch this again? Maybe. Like a big maybe. I would really have to be in the mood to watch this again, because I'm not going to lie.
Would you watch other, like...
I would watch more...
Would you watch other, like, thriller, crime, live-action shows because of this?
It would depend on... It would really depend. Because I would have to really be invested in the characters and stuff to really sit through it, personally. Characters kind of make or break a series, in my opinion, along with plot and stuff, but... It would entirely depend, in my opinion. But... I mainly wanted to watch this for you. And I'm glad I did.
Okay.
Would I personally watch this again?
Would you have personally suck it out as your own on your own?
Probably not. Probably not. If
Probably
it wasn't
not.
watching
you
it
don't
with
really
you,
watch a lot of live action stuff anyway.
I do, but I have to. Live action has to get me in a different way, because I have to really be invested in like the plot and like the series itself, along with the characters, to really go for live action.
How much live action stuff were you watching before you met me? Probably not a lot.
Not much, but when I did watch live action stuff, it was ones I really liked. Like, I'll use Good Omens as an example, because
I showed you that, so you can't count that.
Oh, come on.
You gotta count a lot longer than that.
I'll have to think about that then. But I do want to try and get into other series. I would actually like to watch more in this universe. I do like the way that they do this universe. So I would be... I would
basically like the real world.
Stop. Anyway, so I guess, am I ready for El Camino? Oh fuck no!
I mean,
it's 3 hours.
3 hours, but like, come on, it's like, you know, it's just a movie.
I know, but I'm curious to see how good this is.
Just a damn movie.
Anyway, so personally for me. Are you excited to watch El Camino? Because personally for me, I'm curious to see what's going to be.
I was in a really dark place when I watched El Camino, so I wonder how it's... So I'm ready to rewatch it again so I don't have to feel that way.
I get that. I get that. One more thing I'll ask before we, I guess, kind of end stuff and kind of do some updates. So, eventually, we are going to do Better Call Saul. I don't know when that's going to be yet, just because this series literally took us almost the entire fucking year to do.
Okay, so basically, later. Better Call Saul in the near future, probably.
Yeah, because I just don't know when that's going to be.
Right now, what we're going to be doing is going to go to the Halloween stuff, picking out, like, for our spectacular...
Halloween spectacular.
Halloween spectacular! And then, then we're going to go to the holidays and all that stuff. So, when the new year hits, 2024... I'm assuming it's your turn to pick out a show.
Yeah, because something me and Jay kind of agreed on doing. This was a series Jay wanted to really watch. So
what is something you want to really watch?
So me and Jay basically decided we're going to start doing, one major series, a year, along with some little stuff here and there.
Okay.
Just to kind of give us something to break down and do, what we're doing.
It's got to be at least... 5 seasons.
At least 5, maybe 6, depending on how long it is. We kind of have to decide on it. But something I've actually been wanting to watch for a while, and this is something I've been wanting to watch for a while, and I would like to watch it with Jay.
Mm-hmm.
I want to watch Fraggle Rock. It's a series I've been wanting to watch for a while. It's not a major series I've been wanting to watch for a while, but it's something that I've always heard a lot about it, and I really want to do something lighthearted, especially after you putting me through this for almost a year, honey, you butt. So, that's going to be the next major series we do, and we're doing these series as we go through the year. We're basically doing the season, doing some other stuff in between. It's not the major focus of our channel. We're just trying to add some bigger series into the podcast so that way y'all don't have just small movies every fucking month kind of thing. We're trying to also watch series when we have the time and stuff like that. So that's kind of what we plan on doing and stuff when it comes to the podcast next year. So that's going to be the next major series we do, but we're going to be taking a break from the major series stuff because we're going to be doing Halloween Spectacular stuff and Christmas Palooza stuff next, because holidays are coming up in a month or two, so you guys are going to be seeing that soon. So yeah, if you guys are waiting for another big series from us, we're going to be talking about Fraggle Rock next, but that's probably not going to be till January.
Like to party.
Right, honey?
We like to party. Yeah.
So, alright, anything else you want to add before we sign off?
Nope.
You're all good?
Yeah, just ready to watch El Camino tomorrow.
Yep, and that review should be coming out this weekend. Once we get the thumbnail done, that should be coming out this weekend. So be on the lookout for El Camino coming up, hopefully this week. Mm-hmm. And I plan on trying to get this video out hopefully tomorrow, depending on how stuff goes.
Okay.
So yeah, thank you guys for watching. And as always, I'm Mari.
I'm Jay.
And we're out.